Hello, it's Trisha here from So Totally Trisha. And following on from the last couple of days when I did the quarter square triangles very, very easily, I did suggest that there were a couple of other ways of making hourglass blocks and split quarter square triangles. So rather than just explain, I thought I'd show you in a video tutorial. So this was the original, and this is what I made with the quarter square triangle blocks. And now I'm going to show you how to make the hourglass blocks. So I'll just do a little recap of how we made how I put the 4-patch together. And again, you will need to make 2 4-patches. But this time, rather than having quite a few different fabrics, I'm just using 2, and I'm going to lay them out in the 4-patch format and use my spider web method to stitch them together. If you use this method in most of your patchwork, you will never get a block that goes the wrong way round and therefore need to unpick. So this is what we do. We place our top right square onto the top right, and we place the bottom right square onto, the bottom left. So the right hand side onto the left hand side. And then we'll take it to the machine, 1/4 inch seam allowance, and 1.8, 1.6 as my stitch length. Now, as you see, when I've got here, I don't cut my threads, but I do take the next pair, pop it underneath the needle and carry on stitching. Now, we will be pressing at some point, but not this point. So I do cut the thread when I've put the 2 together. You see they're attached. And what I do at this point is you always go with the bottom pair first of all, open it up and nail press along the seam. With the top one, I flip it first. I flip it that way so that my seam is going to be on the opposite side, and therefore I can nest my seams in the middle when I do the next step. So seam is under this side, seam is under this side. Now I flip them together, and as you see, my seams will nest. So they nest very, very easily. Just push them with your finger and thumb, line up the other raw edge, and straight under the needle. And you can pin at the intersection if you like to, but the nesting makes it very, very secure and accurate that you can just hold your fingers there. So the next thing I'm going to do is we will actually press this. So we'll cut the thread and we will open it out. Actually, so it's a good idea to press, but actually I'm not going to press this time. I'm going to press right at the very end. So as I said earlier, again, you need 2 identical 4-patches. So there we are. There's 1, there's 2. When we put them together, right sides together, just the same as before, we make sure that we've got the different colour fabrics on top of each other. So we've got the dark on the light, light on the dark, and of course, because we made the blocks the same, light on the dark, dark on the light. So we are just going to align these. Now, some of these seams will nest, so I will put a pin in here because we want this to stay together really nicely. And it looks as though that one's going to nest as well. It may be, depending on how you put your 4-patches together, they may not nest, but by pinning, we can make sure that these are going to be held together really, really well. So that's it. Let's just pull that one a little bit. This is where pressing in between is a lot better than not pressing. So we've got that together there, and I'm going to start and I'm going to stitch the whole way round the edge. So again, stick with your 1/4 inch seam allowance, stick with your 1.8 stitch length, but we will stop 1/4 inch before the end, and we will turn that corner, pivot, pull pull the pin out just before we get to it and pivot. Take that pin out, make sure the seams don't flip the wrong way. It's always good to have your seams nice and flat. And then on the last side, I'm just going to stitch the whole way down and cut the thread at the end. Now I'm going to set that aside. That particular pair of 4 patches is going to give me my hourglass blocks. So I'm just going to go on to the second one first of all, and that one is where we make a split quarter square triangle. So again, I have got my 4 patch ready made just like we did before, but this time rather than a 4 patch that's exactly the same, we use a whole piece of fabric. Now, using my 4-inch squares, the piece of fabric which will fit this happens to be 7.5 inches square. So any colour fabric that you like, but in one piece. And we're going to pop that right sides together and it should fit. So again, I am going to put just a few pins just to hold this together. So line those edges up. The better they align, the better your, this one's going to be a split quarter square triangle. Oh, and pins. So I'll put a couple of pins in and do exactly the same as we did before. Stitch down that side, just make sure I could feel that seam was flipping. So down this side, one more stitch, and around we go to the next side. Stitch along, 1/4 inch before the end, and pivot. Carry on along the other side. And you can use this technique with any size squares, as long as you use squares that are the same size in each step. Apart from this one, where if you used 5-inch squares, you would just measure your 4 patch to cut your single piece of fabric, a continuous piece of fabric, to cover whatever your 4 patch made with 5-inch squares. Okay, so I have got my 2 sets now. So we've got the hourglass one and we have got the split square triangle one. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my cutting mat and my rotary cutter and ruler, and we are going to cut twice diagonally. So you line up your ruler from one corner to the other. Make sure that it is perfectly in line, and you don't want these to move. So then I'm going to turn the board around and I'm going to line up the other diagonal now. So that is perfectly in line. And I have cut those so that I now have 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter square triangles. So before I press and show you what we get, I'll take in my other set of 4 patches and do exactly the same. So we're just working with squares, but we're going to end up with triangles. So there is my first cut, and then my second cut is going to be the other diagonal, corner to corner and straight across. So let's take those out of the way, and we will, oh, that's because I haven't got it plugged in. Let's plug that iron in just to get that warmed up. And so now instead we're taking the cutting mat away, and we need our pressing mat. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 triangles. Now what you will find, where the seams came together, you will get little triangles. This is where we didn't, where we stitch continuously. So we just need to get rid of those, and we'll get rid of the other ones when it comes to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So with our pressing mat and iron, we'll take the first one, and first of all we will set the seam. So the long seam that we just stitched all the way around the edge, open out and press along that seam. So there we have our first perfect hourglass block. Number 1. Whoops. Number 2. Set the seam, open out and press along that seam. Number 3. Quick and easy, don't you think? Open out, and can you see that perfect intersection in the middle again? Don't we just love to get perfection first time? And there is another one. So we've got 4 hourglass blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, made from squares. And the next one, we have our quarter square triangles. And again, we'll set that seam, we will peel it back and open it out. And we have our split quarter square triangle. We have one with a solid colour, which is the same as 2 quarter square triangles stitched together. But we've got 3 colours in this one. So 1, set the seam, 2, peel it back and press. Number 3, set the seam, pull it back and press along that seam. That one's come open there. And you can see those little bunny ears coming out the sides. We can trim those off and just push that back. Try not to use steam on this one, because you could very easily stretch the seams and distort. But all we need to do now is just go around with these little bunny ears, chop those off, just go along with the sides of your square, and we have perfect squares, quarter square triangles. And the other amazing thing is that these actually measure 5 inches square. So if you were making charm pack quarter square triangles, you could intersperse ready cut charms in with these to make your block of choice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, quick and simple, of your split quarter square triangles, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of your hourglass blocks. How easy is that? All I can say is enjoy and see you soon.